Welcome back to the Fighters Corner podcast. It's been a long minute, and we got some good topics today in regards to what both UFC and boxing are doing, and also talk about the best division of all combat sports. Before we start the episode, I want to thank our show sponsor, the United Combat League. UCL MMA has been doing MMA shows across the Midwest for years and has been a pinnacle in local MMA for the Chicagoland area. Any interested in shows, tickets, or even combat opportunities, go to uclmma.com. So who are you taking in this weekend's fights? I know who I got, and it's not who you think. So I'm going to take my picks over to the world's safest and most trusted online gambling site and make a few bets. That's right, it's betdsi.com. With more than 20 years' experience in the online gaming industry, BetDSI has the best sign-up and deposit promotions on the web. They also boast more deposit options than any other betting site, including fast, free, and secure payouts. Also, for our listeners, they are offering a special promotion where you can build a bigger bankroll and get 100% sports cash bonus when using our promo code Fighters Corner, all one word. That's 50% more sports cash by using our promo code Fighters Corner. Check out BetDSI for all your online gaming needs. Before we transition into the podcast, I got a few more personal thank yous. I'd like to thank Johnny Rehab for the music he and his attorneys allowed us to use. Also, I'd like to give a big thanks to some new listeners who've reached out to myself, Mike, or Jonah with ideas, topics, and just to talk about the things we love to talk about, combat sports. If you like what you hear, feel free to check us out on our Patreon, where you can be in our corner by showing your support. I also have a link in the description so you can click on that as well. Last thanks goes out to one of our distant listeners, Jimmy D out in Tampa. Keep fighting the good fight, bud. We're in your corner. Welcome back to the Fighters Corner podcast. My name is John Grosky, and with me is Mike Davis.
What's happening?
And Jonah Williams.
Hey, what's up?
Today we're going to talk about a few different topics. One in particular, UFC and the relationship with boxing and how it affects the fans, and then dive into a little bit of what's going on in the welterweight division, and then Mike's got a topic as well.
Yeah.
But first I want to start with
big weekend this weekend.
We always talk about how combat sports is becoming fun again. And this past weekend sort of even echoed that even further. In fact, like the entire month of March. Like if you're a combat sport fan, the entire month of March so far has been really fun.
I think, including public sentiment, that it seems to be coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it went away. I'm just saying that it appears to be like almost like peaking again for some reason.
It's climbing an apex.
On both sides, particularly boxing.
Combat sports as a whole, but in particular boxing, I agree.
Yeah, and I think right now boxing is kind of like...
I think it's eclipsing the UFC.
Not yet.
I don't know, dude.
Wait.
It has that feeling.
Are we talking about
coming out of nowhere?
Are we talking about in terms of numbers, or are we talking about in terms of interest?
Interest and entertainment.
Okay, if we're talking entertainment, we're not talking hard numbers. I agree with you.
Okay. And I want to talk about I think it's justifiable to have the conversation with how you can compare and contrast what the UFC is doing right and wrong versus what boxing is doing right and wrong.
Okay. And I'm gonna forewarn you. This is a topic that I think I've had with 1,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I already know the answers, but go ahead.
I mean, so like one thing that and look, and my answers are not going to be the right answer. I mean, because this is obviously an opinion. It's an opinion. Yeah. But I think like when you look at what UFC does right and wrong versus what boxing does right and wrong, let's start with UFC. In my opinion, what UFC does right is matchmaking. It's something that I think they do very, very well.
Yes.
Dana White at the head will make sure that the fans get exactly what they want.
A phenomenal job. But there's a yin and a yang to that.
Sure.
Now you're talking about giving the fans what they want.
Right.
Correct?
I mean, like when a fight ends in a controversy or even a draw, Dana White is the very first person to say immediate rematch.
Right.
Yes.
But I will also say is unlike boxing, how many undefeated fighters are in the UFC right now?
Not a lot.
Well,
Not
that
a lot.
actually, in my opinion, that goes to what the UFC does well. Because in boxing, one of the big issues in boxing is,
Sandbagging.
well, yeah, your record means more than how you won. If you win every
100%.
fight by decision, it's horrible to watch, but it's great for your record in boxing. In the UFC,
The UFC's got beat up records.
this was way back in the day. But if you remember Rashad Evans, he got a title shot undefeated. Everybody's like he doesn't deserve it because he wasn't finishing fights, even though he was undefeated.
Yeah.
It's how you look and how entertaining you are versus just eking out a win.
Right.
I agree. Yeah,
So
no,
that leads to the
get beat up
records.
You get beat up records when you're in the UFC, 100%.
Right.
In boxing, you get inflated records.
Yeah, they don't keep the journeyman around in the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's what it comes down
The
to.
gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
no.
know, and I think that there are probably more boxers out there in the world than there are mixed martial artists. I mean,
To a certain degree, yeah, I
I mean,
agree with
like
that.
like when you're seeing boxers like Mikey Garcia that are 39-1 now.
What was your opinion of that Mikey Garcia Earl Spence fight?
I thought that Earl Spence is legit.
Wow, I did you doubt that prior to this fight?
No.
Okay, neither did I.
But Mikey Garcia also legit.
There's he went up 2 weight classes. You know.
Let's
go back.
let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
go back because I got way more on that.
No, for sure.
So I don't want to change tracks too much.
Sure.
So let's look at what UFC does wrong. Okay, and I won't even debate this with anybody.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Without you even telling me?
Go ahead.
They don't promote fighters. They only promote their brand.
Hell to the no. You are right, 100%.
Yeah.
They do not promote. Think
Well,
about
it's about the brand. It's not about the fighter.
and it's disgusting. Okay,
well, then every once in a while there's an outlier, like a John Jones or a Conor McGregor.
dude, are you reading my notes?
No, I mean it's just common sense.
Yeah.
An outlier like that comes along where they kind of somehow beat the UFC system, and then the UFC, like Ronda Rousey, they have record breaking like pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And I know the UFC sees that, but they're also kind of afraid of that.
Ask yourself this: outside of Conor McGregor and John Jones, who does the UFC have?
Well, they had TJ Dillashaw. He was pretty exciting.
Had
He just lost.
he's still there, but
And he just failed the urine test.
and he failed
too.
the urine test.
But still, yeah, there's a whole bunch of crap with him failing the urine test. Like it was probably just
DC. Okay, but
Yeah.
here we go. Here we
Okay.
go.
DC is getting
There's-
very likable. So
wait,
he's getting the
wait.
personality.
Before you even continue,
There's 5 people in a roster with over 200 people on
okay,
it.
but let's say the top 3. Well, let's agree on this: John Jones, Conor McGregor, and Daniel Cormier. Right?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Cormier is fighting one more time and he's retired.
I'm getting to that now too.
John Jones shouldn't be fighting.
And then Conor McGregor doesn't want to fight.
Doesn't
anymore.
want to fight.
So those 3 guys,
Well, then who's number 4? I'll tell you number 4.
Who?
Ronda Rousey.
and she's not even in the
She's
UFC.
not even in the UFC.
So those
Call
4.
4.
So we'll call it 4. But out of the 3,
Let's go number 5. George St. Pierre.
also another one gone from the sport.
We're gone. Okay, so there you go. Like
3 out of the 5 are active. 2 out of the 5 are gone. But those 3 out of the 5, how much sand is in the hourglass?
dude, there's not a lot of sand left in fighters' hourglass to begin with. But like,
Well, I mean, but like, how long did the UFC ride on Conor McGregor's coattails? Okay,
for the last 3 years,
3
for
years.
sure.
John Jones hasn't technically lost technically he's lost fights, but he hasn't like lost a fight in 8-9 years.
Dude, man, I tell you what. Later on, there's going to be books written about John Jones,
Right. I
And
agree.
they're going to be tell-alls. And when people find out the reality of what exactly went down with him,
It's not coming out now though. That's for sure.
no, they're going to wait to get all the paydays they can out of
so
him.
the
Unfortunately,
UFC is a like John Jones is probably a big piss test away from never fighting again, like ever, unless it's a different sport. Unless he goes to
We already discussed that he kind of got the green light to cheat at the level he's
Right,
cheating at.
right,
He's
but-
allowed to now get the 20 to 40 picograms.
right, but I mean, like if he pisses test for like something other than like that type of testosterone, he's probably gone from the sport for good. Like, wouldn't you agree? I mean, like, what?
I think they need him.
I don't know. I think he should have been gone already.
I agree. I don't think he should have fought.
I don't know. I to be honest with you, rules don't seem to apply for him. Whether they're rules in regards to driving a car,
life in
rules,
general.
His universe does have different physics.
Yeah.
What brings down people in our universe doesn't bring them down in his universe.
So if it's not John Jones, like here, if I were to say the over under on John Jones' career in the UFC is at 18 months, would you take the over or the under?
Under.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
I mean, I got those. Look at this track record.
Right now, Conor McGregor. If I said 18 months, would you
under?
Say me too? Okay, who's the third guy?
Okay, so what do they have to do? What you're telling me? What they do?
They're not putting their hands deep enough into the soil.
So one thing I want to say, if you look at, obviously boxing is way older as a sport than MMA.
Yeah.
If you look at the most like famous quintessential fights in boxing, Ali, Frazier, Tyson, Holyfield,
Douglas, Riddick Bowe versus
all of those fights, they weren't just a clash of style. They didn't just happen to be the best two fighters in the world. 'Cause that's happened a million times where the best two fighters fight. It's clashes of personalities.
Yeah.
You turn in to watch someone you love hopefully beat someone you hate. You don't turn in just to watch technical.
I'd say another guy that could fall. Like what you're saying is like on the UFC roster, Tony Ferguson.
If they promoted the
is
dude,
possibly the biggest jerk off that you're ever gonna watch get interviewed. I mean, Jonah, to say he meets stereotypes and turns the volume up on them is a complete understatement. The guy is a total asshole. Like if he was at a fucking party, you would turn off the lights and tell everyone, "Hey man, we'll meet up here in an hour."
Yeah.
You don't even want him at the freaking party.
So Ferguson, what, a respectable 6 on this chart that we got?
However, Ferguson, all you got to do is get somebody to shut him up and get a trilogy out of him. And I'll tell you this right now, like you'll have a superstar right there. Yeah. He's obnoxious.
It reminded me of someone else too.
It's a phony obnoxious.
The Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
Boom. But they're
shelved.
They're shelved, exactly. And like Nate wants more money.
I think they're shelved because they're too big.
Yeah.
Like the UFC knows it's not a UFC event.
They don't want.
It's
they don't
a
want
Diaz event.
They don't want to.
Those guys flipping off the cameras and stuff. Like
I like it though.
How many?
I love them.
How many McGregors do you think the UFC wants to deal with?
What does that mean?
They want the individual payday. They're like, oh man, we can have this great payday, but they don't want to hand the power over.
They don't want to hand the power over. So which goes against the boxing paradigm.
Now here, let's think retrospective with Conor McGregor. Do you think that letting him fight Floyd Mayweather hurt or helped the UFC?
Helped.
You think it helped the UFC?
100%.
How many more paydays do you think they could have got out of Conor McGregor if he didn't fight Floyd Mayweather? A reason why I think that he hasn't been fighting in however long.
Well, okay, but look at the amount of paydays that they got out of him because they took half his purse.
Yeah,
they got like $50 million for that.
UFC did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, did they get it under the UFC brand name? No, but they got their money.
I feel like they lost a lot of exposure because of Conor McGregor not being there. That's how I feel.
You know what, man? Those people are either going to watch or they're not. And they know Conor exists. It's not like, well, if Conor's fighting, I'll watch. If not, I'm not watching. I mean, does that happen in the country of Ireland? Absolutely. Yeah. But at the end of the day, no, I think they got out of Conor and Conor got out of them. I think they're about even, to be honest with you.
So
now with boxing, what does boxing need to do?
Well, let's look at what boxing does right and wrong. Boxing.
It's all fighter oriented without any promotion oriented.
Let's do a 5.
It's the exact opposite of what the UFC is doing.
Exact opposite. Let's think of 5 fighters and let me know, would you be interested in the next fights? Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Errol Spence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Charlo brothers.
Now.
I like those guys.
I do too.
Okay.
Okay.
I said no. I wasn't too impressed with their last performance.
And these are just random names that just came off the top of my head. Okay, like we had to dig.
You go Sean Porter.
Porter.
Yeah. Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like these guys. I would love to just watch them fight. And I'm hoping they fight 2 or 3 more times this year. And the ones who wins are the fans. But like going back to the UFC, we had to dig for 5 names. I just randomly said 5 names and automatically.
But here we go.
In a sport that's coming back, it's not like there's been a whole lot of boxing in the last few years, and you got all those names.
And I agree with you. But who's financially making more money right now?
UFC.
Okay.
Well,
They have.
Did you see the trade-off there?
do you mean which fighters are making more money?
No.
Oh, of course.
Well, the thing with
And
boxing.
we don't even know that. We don't know the UFC's numbers. We're not privy to them.
No, but you would assume.
But that's how you know the fighters aren't getting paid because they're
But-
not talking about it.
Thank you.
But the UFC offers, or they operate everything under one umbrella. Unlike boxing, there's like six or seven
that's
different.
not necessarily true. There's competition to the UFC. It's just that they are nowhere near as successful.
Okay, well, I mean, with,
And whenever somebody gets close, the UFC buys it and shuts it down.
That ONE FC is huge over in Asia right now.
you know what? I think that logic made sense when Zuffa was owning it.
Yeah.
Or the Fertitta
Yeah, no,
brothers.
this is a straight business organization that owns it. Like they're not even kind of taking into account sentimental fan value. And I think they're learning as they're going, and I don't think Dana White's voice is as loud as it should be. And that guy's got a loud voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think, I can't believe how quiet it was that Demetri Johnson went over to ONE FC and like it's not.
Look
even
what they
paying-
got in
You know,
return.
I-
What could they? We'll talk about that. That's
Okay,
one of my
yeah, yeah.
my man. That's one of my top.
All right,
guys.
okay.
Okay.
Let's flip to what boxing does wrong.
Okay. Well, they can't put a fight together to save their friggin' lives.
That is the big issue that I have with boxing right now.
And
so
and dude, to call it pathetic.
Three dudes sitting around the table can think of 10 fights that we'd like to see right now, and boxing can't make one.
No,
of
they
them
can't
happen.
even make one.
So
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury happened in December. Me, you, and our buddy Brian went to go watch that. I haven't been more excited to watch a fight in my life. Like when we were there at the bar watching that fight, dude. With that knockdown in that 12th round, dude, Mike, you literally jumped over me and screamed. And you weren't the only one in the bar doing this.
No.
Like that bar was packed.
Nah, dude, you know what, man? When it comes to like boxing, when it comes to drama, it's difficult to mimic that type of energy.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like I like being in that crowd, that atmosphere. I mean, it's,
listen, we're sitting here at a table talking about combat sports. There's a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we're into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury ended in a majority draw.
And it'll never happen now.
Well, after the fight was over, there was plenty of talk on how there would be an immediate rematch. In fact, I think the WBO
They
mandated.
had like a May date.
Okay, now Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder have fights coming up, and they're not versus each other.
No, Tyson Fury just got signed by DAZN.
And he's got Tom Schwartz coming up in June.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the politics between Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder, they're so thick with people's hands out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you whose hands aren't out, and it's Deontay Wilder. Because when Anthony Joshua's crew sent over a ridiculous proposal for a match, they sent it right back within 5 minutes saying, yeah, we'll take it. And then you know what Joshua's people said? Yeah, we're going to renegotiate. We don't like this deal.
We don't like the deal that we gave you.
Yeah, we don't like the deal we just sent over. That was it is sent over to insult you.
But that's the downside of being decentralized like that, is that everybody's fighter's got a different manager, and then, of course, there's a bunch of different belts.
Yeah. But
so-
everyone's got a handout. Asking
Well,
for
and
a
then
little bit.
I don't like this promoter because he favors this person, or that promoter favors that person. Yeah,
Which, when in boxing, like we talked about, the decision is so much bigger in boxing than it is in MMA. Those guys got to consider that. You can't fight in a place where you know you're going to 90% be looking at a decision, and those judges are picked by somebody that fucking hates you.
Okay, here, let me give you like an analogy. Like I can sit here and go, well, I had a buddy, which is true, that got up to like 30 fights. He had 1 or 2 losses, and I'm gonna tell you what, he wasn't a good fighter. He wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He got like a $50,000 payday to go and get his ass kicked somewhere.
Hey.
On an independent circuit that wasn't on TV. So it's like that shit does not happen in MMA, and it won't happen in MMA.
Yeah.
So and then here, like De La Hoya's original manager, they kept putting him up against. He had a whole bunch of fake fights to juice his record,
Right.
In order to kind of capitalize on his Olympic stardom, his good looks. Like the guy, honestly, De La Hoya probably should have been suspended from boxing as well, but his manager fell on the sword.
Right. And that's the thing. I think that's what's happening with boxing is like using Wilder and Fury as an example. So now they had an incredible bout. Okay, we can all agree on that.
Oh, historic.
Build up and a great everything.
I'll tell you what. We should probably have that picture put up on that wall.
I would do it.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, it deserves it.
Absolutely.
It definitely deserves a real estate. So Wilder and Fury should be fighting an immediate rematch. Now, Fury's got an opponent that's coming up against Tom Schwartz in Vegas. Tom Schwartz is a up-and-coming German boxer that no one's ever heard of. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's 24-0, and he's got like maybe one or two significant wins under that. Deontay Wilder's fighting Dominic Breazeale. Only loss is against Anthony Joshua. So what's happening now is sort of what happened with...
They're going to lose the fights that they need.
Well,
they're taking a big risk.
100%.
Yeah, either one of them could lose.
With that, I think it sort of falls under like how the years that went by with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Like, how many years went by where we were asking ourselves, when is this fight going to happen?
And actually, I was going to bring up Mayweather in a minute, but go ahead.
They circled around each other for 5 or 6 years, and then
that's not true. That's not true.
Well, how long? Well, okay, how long did you want to watch that fight? Like,
no. The way you just said it wasn't true. Manny Pacquiao wanted that fight for 6 years.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather waited for Pacquiao to get old.
And Pacquiao's style was conducive to aging quicker because he was really exchanging.
So let's not put both parties at blame here.
Yeah.
Pacquiao tried that fight numerous times.
So I had this argument with somebody who was saying, well, both of them are aging at the same rate.
That's
Absolutely
100% not true.
Absolutely not, based on the styles. Mayweather knew he could wait, and Pacquiao would get older quicker.
And Pacquiao was trained by Roger Mayweather.
Right. What I wanted to bring up in summary is the things that the UFC is doing right and wrong are the exact opposite that boxing is doing right and wrong. So boxing is doing a good job at promoting their fighters. UFC is not. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Boxing is doing a horrible job at matchmaking, and the UFC is doing a terrific job.
I think that's why PBC, in my opinion, is so important right now.
Bingo. I agree 100%.
I wish PBC'd have their own belts. I wish we could flush all of these bullshit belts down the toilet.
There's too many world champs.
Yeah, and the years and the history behind those belts are so significant. We asked Sean Porter, we're like, why doesn't PBC have their own belts? And he said, well, there's too much history behind like the WBO and the WBC to sort of just.
And you know what, John? And my counter to that is, there's also a lot of corruption associated with it.
Oh yeah. I agree. And it's unfortunate.
So the thing I want to say about Mayweather, a lot of people who aren't like fight people don't know. When he talks about being 50-0, it's not just entirely talking about being the best boxer ever. It's talking about having the best management, the smartest plan, being brought up from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Because if he would have been given a title shot 3 fights in as a tune-up for whoever was champ at that time, he would have had a loss.
Kind of like Lomachenko. Lomachenko shouldn't have that loss, but his management didn't care.
Exactly. He wasn't. So being undefeated is really a statement about how you came into the industry and how you went out.
And now to Earl Spence, Mickey Garcia. We brought it up.
What I actually want to cover is the welterweight division as a whole in boxing, because I think that when you look at every single weight division across both MMA and boxing, and we'll even throw bare knuckle in there as well. There is no more entertaining. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is the most entertaining division in combat sports is the welterweight division in boxing.
All right. Now. The Professional Fight League, the PFL, which is making a name for themselves in mixed martial arts, just eliminated the welterweight division.
Well,
I have no idea why, but that's MMA talk. Right now, we're doing boxing.
Yeah,
so
I mean, okay, so
and I agree with you.
Let's go over what we've learned in the welterweight division in the last six weeks. I mean, how many weeks are we into the year? 10 weeks. Let's say 10 weeks, going from the beginning of the year up until now.
Sure.
What do we learn? Errol Spence.
Bad mother effer.
Okay, who does Errol Spence remind you of? Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Go ahead.
George St. Pierre.
Okay.
Think about what. Well, here when I watched that fight, what Earl Spence did. George St. Pierre had the same type of. I mean, obviously you're comparing MMA. No.
Dude,
Oh, wait.
I have an
His
issue with this
cadence and his in
comparison.
and out. Like,
No. Not his fight technique.
Are you talking about this fight in
I'm
particular?
talking about Errol Spence as a fighter. Reminded me a lot of George St. Pierre. Obviously, they're two different sports, but George St. Pierre, ultra athletic, ultra smart, very grindy. Okay?
No finish.
No finish. Errol Spence, same thing, but he was aiming for this. Like when I was watching Errol Spence, I was watching a fighter that was very finesse, that was just manhandling Mikey Garcia like no one else has handled him
The
before.
thing about Mikey Garcia is, I honestly hope the payday was worth it for him.
I got that now too.
Go
So
ahead.
check this out. And you can't hate on Mikey Garcia for anything.
Monetizing.
Dude, you cannot hate on
no.
him for no.
Well, no, I mean, he's got a set of balls on him.
Let's sort of
I'm a little pissed at his management.
well here, let's sort of compare this to like, and this is just off the top of my head. Maybe 10 years ago when George St. Pierre was at his peak and Miguel Torres was in the UFC or WEC at his peak as well. If Miguel Torres went up 2 weight classes to fight George St. Pierre,
Well, he's got balls of steel.
okay, that's exactly what happened with Mikey Garcia.
Yeah,
and
I'm
Errol
with you.
Spence.
I'm with
Now,
you on it.
if-
But I mean, the
if-
weight classes are a little closer in boxing than they are
well, here,
in MMA.
Mikey Garcia
I'm not sure
fought
that's inaccurate.
in 4 different weight classes, including featherweight. So when he went up, he went up to fight at 147 against Earl Spence, and then they weighed him the morning of the fight. So Mikey Garcia went up like 2 weight classes to fight Earl Spence.
He looks soft.
And he looked soft. Now, another thing too, that morning when they both weighed each other on the scales, Earl Spence 155, and Mikey Garcia like 152, 151.
Yeah.
So that was like the morning of the fight after they hydrated and got everything back in their body. Earl Spence was gaining weight more rapidly than Mikey Garcia was. Now, apart from that, you have Mikey.
I mean, Mikey Garcia didn't have much more weight. Like, he looked like he was at his retired weight.
Well,
physically.
Mikey Garcia shorter. His reach wasn't as long as Earl Spence.
Dude, all you're doing is describing somebody that went up 2 weight classes.
well,
We got it.
But you also find athletes that are shorter or in lower weight classes that have the length and have the height.
Championship height.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
agree
mean,
with you.
but Mikey Garcia didn't have that. But you can't hate on Mikey Garcia. His last 3 fights or his
What
last
did he
2
get
fights.
paid?
Well, I'll tell you this: he fought Adrian Broner and got $1 million for that. Okay, that was 2 fights ago. He fought Easter Jr., $1 million for that.
What did he get this one?
Want to take a guess?
2?
Nope.
No.
Mas.
3?
Mas.
4?
Mas.
5?
Mas.
6?
Mas.
10?
Lower. 8.
Done.
Exactly.
I respect him.
Exactly. Like,
Okay. So here we go.
You can't.
All
hate
right,
on
so
Mikey Garcia
now
for
we're
this fight.
now we're coming back full circle. What is a loss worth? I told you I knew a guy. I'm not going to call him a bum, but he got a $50,000 payday to take a loss. Okay, on an indie card. So boxing losses are worth so much more than in the UFC. A UFC losses happen.
everybody has losses in the UFC. You know,
There is a fighter on the roster that doesn't have a loss.
look at the most dominant UFC fighters in history. And Anderson Silva had a loss.
Look at Randy Couture.
Randy
He's got
Couture.
dude. Watch a Rocky movie. Look at Rocky Balboa's record.
Yeah.
It's ugly. That's the majority of like your hardened champions that sit there. You know, they'll have the belt for a year or 2. I mean, that's what they look like.
So in summer, you got Mikey Garcia, who went up 2 weight classes.
Nah, dude, $8 million. That's
$8 million, dude. You can't hate on him for that. You cannot.
no. You know,
hate
man,
on him one bit for that.
You gotta look at it this way. Let's just say he wanted to maintain his integrity, you know, and keep his loss, or keep that from being on his record. Where is he going to find $8 million in his own weight class?
Dude, I don't think he's made $8 million as
his
a boxer
entire
yet.
career.
No, I mean I didn't do the math, but I mean like it's got
no.
to.
I think without assuming, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
When you said 1 million, those were a surprise, and then 8 times that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean,
I would take that fight.
Yeah, I mean, how often does like a payday like that appear? Like, if you pass on this $8 million payday today, your fight life's probably only got about 2 years left. Do you think you're going to find $8 million somewhere else? You just got to take a.
That's it.
You got to look at your management. and you got to go get me some Mexican supplements. Who's John Jones using? Whatever picograms he's on, that's what I want.
I want that too. No, I agree 100%, man. And I think that Mikey Garcia should not be thought of
John,
any less.
And let me ask you something. Did you enjoy watching that fight?
Dude, Errol Spence controlled. I have an exercise that I do.
Did you enjoy that fight?
I have an exercise that I do where I'll write down the scores for every single round. After the fourth or fifth round, I just stop recording it because Errol Spence
just one-sided.
It was just so one-sided. In fact, all the judges had it 120 to 108, 107. I mean, there were some judges that were giving it 10-8 rounds.
You know what kind of made me sad when I read I read the headline of an article. I didn't even want to read it. It was Mikey Garcia's management doesn't really see fit for a rematch.
No.
But it's such a giant payday. Sometimes you can kind of, even like with when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, it was a pretty one-sided fight. But even then, it was just like, oh, we want it. But just the public opinion in terms of want wasn't there. And when Mikey Garcia's management gets asked that, and like, yeah, no, we don't think so. We're just going to kind of go back down and concentrate. Dude, it kind of made me sad, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a lot of fights for Mikey Garcia at his natural weight classes. Okay, I'd still like to see him versus Lomachenko.
Well, hopefully at this point, he got his payday. He's got some money in the bank.
Yeah.
Now he can focus on boxing.
What he wants
now he
to
can
do.
focus on the art of boxing.
That's what makes me sad as well. Lomachenko hasn't even been on pay-per-view yet because he just doesn't have the audience.
Not a lot of people know who he is, and he's probably...
I don't believe that. I think people do know who he is.
His YouTube is bananas.
He's only got like 13 fights. You know what I mean? It's
so people are talking about he's one of the greatest fighters ever to live.
I think the hardcore fans know who
And he doesn't have hard fights. He doesn't have a lot of fights, period.
Oh,
but
they're hard. They're just easy for him.
Yeah.
I can guarantee if you call 5 random people on your phone and ask them who Deontay Wilder is, they'll tell you who he is. You ask those same 5 people if they know who Lomachenko is, maybe one will tell you that they know who he is.
Negative. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So all right, so going back to the welterweight class, I think that there's still a lot of opportunity for Mike Garcia. Apart from him, there's Errol Spence Jr. proved to me that he is like the George St. Pierre of MMA or of boxing. Dominant fighter. The only person I think left for him, and it's not going to be Pacquiao, it's Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford right now is pound for pound, arguably with him and Lomachenko, the best fighter on the planet.
Dude, you give me a Terrence Crawford Lomachenko fight? What?
Yeah. Well, I think that Crawford and Errol Spence makes the most sense.
I'd even watch. Yeah.
I mean that makes the most sense.
That.
And then I do feel bad for a guy like Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? Like I think
he made some money.
He made some money, but like he is not wise outside boxing. Like he's done some shady.
I think there's some mental illness there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And like I just want to be clear. Like I do love him as a boxer, but I do not love what the things that he says and the caca that comes out of his mouth outside of a boxing ring. I mean, it's just embarrassing.
Okay, here we go. Would you want him as a guest?
Absolutely. I
Me
love
too.
to talk to him.
Yeah.
I love to talk to him. I mean, I really would, but I don't defend or back up his actions that he's been doing. He just got arrested, I think, 2 days ago in Miami.
They let him go. I saw that.
Yeah,
they went through the act. They like cuffed him and all that stuff, but they didn't take him in. So they half arrested him.
I'd tell you this right now. If I'm Gervonta Davis's management, I'm telling, like, I'm literally
Mayweather?
flying. I'm flying there and I'm sitting him down and I'm telling him, you got to stop hanging out with this guy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, oh, dude, 100%. I mean, Gervonta...
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, in high school, there was a kid that, man, this dude's awesome. He's guaranteed we're going to come home laughing our ass off, talking about whatever it is he did. But at the end of the day, he's not a good influence. Yeah. And, like, you probably shouldn't be around him. That's Broner, unfortunately.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, I think Broner... I honestly think that a lot of people hate him in the boxing community, the boxing world, like the higher-ups.
They absolutely do. You don't have to think that. That's for sure.
He had 3 tough back-to-back losses against 3 tough opponents. Like, they didn't give him no gimme fights. No. So I think that if he does come back, it's got to be if he does come back.
Who walked him in on his last fight, dude? What rapper?
I don't know. I don't remember his
local
name.
rapper G Herbo.
Okay.
G Herbo,
yeah, he walked him in, dude. Yeah.
Well, so like,
it was good. It's always good to see a local guy do something.
You always got to root for the home team. Always root for the home 100%. Team. So like, another couple fights that we've seen this past month was obviously Sean Porter versus Ugas, and then Keith Thurman versus Josecito.
I tell you, it's Ugas. I think he's gonna be giving fits to a lot of people.
Check this out, Ugas. We didn't know shit about All right, before he fought, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, tell me another fighter in combat sports history that after a loss is now ranked top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that? After a loss, he's now
Where's
probably
he at?
he's 6 or 7 on that list now.
Deservingly so.
Exactly. The thing
Well,
is,
do you know what it is? He's a Cuban that isn't lying about his age. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not an old man.
Yeah.
He's got some fight in him.
so like you look at like what Sean Porter and the Ugas fight, and Sean Porter, and there's also the Keith Thurman versus Josecito fight. Now both Thurman won and Porter won, but they weren't impressive. Okay. I think right now if we're playing matchmaker, I think I give Thurman versus Porter, and I give Ugas versus Josecito. I think that'd be a good match for both of them, for all 4 of them.
A little round robin, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
The foreman?
Well, actually, I'd say it'd be a good match for the fans. It'd be a tough match for either of those guys.
Yeah, it would be.
Which gets back into the boxing thing on how they make fights.
Yeah.
In order for Ugas to get a rematch,
There's not going to be a rematch.
No.
Sean Porter is going to move on, and so is. And the thing is with Ugas, he's like 34 years old. So how much sand is left in his hourglass?
And
You know what I mean?
nobody's going to want to fight him
Yeah.
now because he's showed how good he is.
Yeah. So I mean, like him versus Josecito makes a lot of sense, and I think Sean Porter because there's a lot of history.
I tell you, when you get a guy like Arnold Adams, who we had in here the other day, and we bring, and the first thing out of his mouth, man, that was a great fight.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. Huh? So after Earl Spence whooped on Mikey Garcia, Manny Pacquiao got in the ring. He was also fighting at welterweight. And
Well, after Pacquiao fought, they asked Mayweather if they thought about a rematch. He just kind of looked away from the camera.
Well, I mean, like they basically interviewed Manny Pacquiao after he got in the ring, and they're like, "Well, Manny Pacquiao set himself up for that. Like, why the hell did you get in the ring if you don't want to answer these questions?" But they asked him, like, "Hey, what do you think about a fight versus Errol Spence?" And he's just like, "I love my time in Dallas, and Dallas is a beautiful city, and I love being here." And it's like
he gave the tourist response.
He gave like pretty much the big spin move, and that was it. I honestly think that Manny Pacquiao wants absolutely nothing to do with Errol Spence.
And I'll tell you what, Mayweather wants absolutely nothing to do with Pacquiao.
Really? I think that's the only fight that makes sense for both of them.
Nah, dude, Pacquiao looked too good. Let's put it this way. He looked way too good to fight Mayweather, but not good enough to fight Earl Spence.
Yeah, I think Mayweather put out like on his website or on his social media or whatever. He actually put like a public poll and asked the fans who should Mayweather fight next. You want to know who unanimously won?
McGregor.
No.
Oh,
Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao, yeah.
Oh,
It's the only fight that the fans want to see, man. So
do you know the stats on that or no?
no, it was accumulating. So I mean, I could check. You know,
You got the entire.
the welterweight's
There's
deep,
a
man.
lot more people in the Philippines than there is in Ireland. That's what I do know.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's boxing talk. So we want to wrap this up.
Yeah, sure.
So what fights are on the horizon that you want to see?
On boxing?
Boxing.
Oh, dude, there's one every month. I mean, especially in the heavyweight. I mean, we didn't even touch about the heavyweight division, but like there's a lot going on in the heavyweight division.
We'll do that next.
Yeah, we can do that next. We could save like that for another podcast coming up. But I definitely do like what's going on in the world of boxing. 100%, man. It's real fun to be a boxing fan right now.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's bringing boxing back is even all the things that the promotions are doing wrong, the boxers are just so good now.
Yeah.
I mean, we got these guys like you guys who are coming out of nowhere who aren't even being given odds coming in because like nobody knows what they're worth. And man, these boxers are just
They're coming out of nowhere.
good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Excellent. Well, dude, that's a good conversation on boxing. Cool.
Yeah.